Good morning. I call this hearing to order. My name is Troy Hawk, and I am one of the legal counsels for the Nebraska Department of Education, and I will be presiding officer conducting the hearing virtually today, May 15th, 2025, using Zoom on the proposed revisions to Title 93 Nebraska Administrative Code, Chapters 1 through 16, Personnel Rules. The legal notice of hearing was published for this hearing in the Omaha World Herald on April 12th, 2025. And to begin this hearing on Title 93, Nebraska Administrative Code, Chapters 1 through 16, Personnel Rules, a Nebraska Department of Education staff member will describe and explain the proposed rule. This will be followed by testimony by interested persons, and each person presenting written or oral testimony is requested to state and spell your first and last name and provide a general indication of where you live. The city, county, or school district is sufficient. State a concise suggestion or recommendation of what action you would like the board to take, and state the rationale or reason for your recommendation. You may reinforce, but please refrain from repeating previous testimony. Each person testifying will be limited to 5 minutes. If additional time is needed, it may be provided at the discretion of the presiding officer. At the conclusion of all testimony from interested persons, the Nebraska Department of Education staff member who opened on the rule will have the opportunity to respond to the testimony presented today, which will conclude the testimony. The testimony presented is being recorded, and the audio recording will be made available to the State Board of Education and the public via YouTube at the time the State Board considers the adoption of the rule later this week. All written testimony must be submitted to the hearing official prior to 5 p.m. today in order to be made a part of the record of this hearing. The email for submitting written comments is nde.rulehearing@nebraska.gov. That's nde.rulehearing@nebraska.gov. This email address may also be found on the department's website at www.education.ne.gov by following the rules and regulations link on the right side of the page to the public notices of upcoming rule hearings link. At this time, we will begin the hearing on Title 93, Nebraska Administrative Code, Chapters 1 through 16, with Amy Huff from the Nebraska Department of Education describing and explaining the proposed revisions. Amy, you may begin.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Amy Huff. It's AMIHUFF, and I'm the General Counsel for the Nebraska Department of Education. Title 93 contains terms of employment for Nebraska Department of Education employees who are not covered by the collective bargaining agreement between NDE and the Nebraska Association of Public Employees, or NAEP. Many of the proposed revisions to Title 93 are intended to harmonize provisions that were changed in the 2025-2027 NDE NAEP collective bargaining agreement, and to make non-substantive changes such as updating language, removing repetitive language, and reorganizing sentence structure and paragraph structure. I will summarize the substantive proposed changes at this time. Chapter 5 regarding probationary periods, the proposed change is to 1.01 and 1.02, which add the term original to probationary periods and deleted the job classifications that aren't covered by the personnel rules. Chapter 8, overtime, the proposed changes to 4.02b, which changes the language to indicate that use of payment of overtime hours for non-exempt employees will be administered in the same manner as it is for NAEP covered employees. Chapter 9, leave and holidays. The proposed change is to Section 8, which changes the language to correct the definition of immediate family for use of bereavement leave. 12.05 changes the language for leave used to attend retirement seminars to reference the Nebraska Revised Statute regarding retirement seminars, which is 84-15511 subsection 4. There is also proposed change to Chapter 13, which adds the ability to donate up to 16 hours of sick leave for catastrophic leave donation requests. Chapter 14, which adds the ability to donate up to 16 hours of sick leave for parental leave donations. Section 17, which adds maternity leave of 6 weeks for mothers who give birth and are eligible for family and medical leave. Section 18 adds mentorship leave, which has been available to personnel rules covered employees for approximately 2 years. Chapter 14 regards the grievance procedure. Section 6 adds language to have the grievance form provided by Human Resources or its designee if applicable. 6.01 regarding step 1 level of discipline adds that the completed grievance form will be submitted to the Human Resources Administrator or designee. It adds language that the department designee will arrive at a response to step 1 grievances. It removes section 6.01A, which was specific to disciplinary demotion and disciplinary suspension. It removes section 6.01B, which was specific to administrative probation. There's also a proposed change to 6.02 regarding step 2 level of discipline. It adds that the department designee is the person to receive an appeal to a decision to a step 1, and that the department designee may not be the same person as the person who evaluated the step 1 grievance. Finally, the change that is proposed is to Appendix A, which is the grievance form, which removes the form from the rule, as the form will be provided by Human Resources. And this concludes my testimony.
Thank you, Ms. Huff. At this time, I would like to open the floor to any testimony from the public. If you would like to testify, please raise your hand. So I think we know everybody here except you, Ms. Douglas, and I know who you are. So I'm assuming at this point there is no testimony from the public. So, Ms. Huff, is there anything else you'd like to add at this time in response to said
Nothing
testimony?
further.
Okay, well, this will close the hearing on the proposed revisions to Title 93 Nebraska Administrative Code, Chapters 1 through 16, Personnel Rules. Thank you, everybody, for being here today, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.